Top 25 AWS Cloud Support Engineer Interview Questions and Answers. In today's competitive job market, preparing for an AWS Cloud Support Engineer interview is essential. This video presents the top 25 interview questions and answers to help candidates grasp the key concepts and skills required for success. From technical challenges to behavioral inquiries, we will explore various topics relevant to the role. By understanding these questions, candidates can enhance their confidence and performance during the interview process. 1. Explain the booting process of a Linux system and how you would troubleshoot boot issues. The booting process of a Linux system begins with the BIOS, UEFI initializing hardware components, followed by loading the bootloader, typically GRUB. The bootloader then loads the Linux kernel into memory. Once the kernel is loaded, it initializes system processes and mounts the root file system. To troubleshoot boot issues, check for hardware failures, verify BIOS, UEFI settings, and examine boot logs. Using recovery mode or a live CD can help access logs and repair configurations. Additionally, ensuring the correct kernel parameters and file system integrity can resolve many boot problems. 2. What is context switching in operating systems, and when does it occur? Context switching refers to the process of storing the state of a currently running process or thread, so that it can be resumed later, allowing multiple processes to share the CPU. This occurs in multitasking environments when the operating system's scheduler decides to switch from one executing process to another. Context switching enables efficient CPU utilization by allowing the OS to manage multiple processes concurrently. It typically happens during events like I/O operations, interrupts, or when a higher priority process needs to run. This mechanism ensures responsiveness and efficient resource allocation in an operating system. 3. Describe demand paging and its benefits. Demand paging is a memory management scheme that loads pages into memory only when they are needed, rather than loading an entire process into memory at once. This technique allows a system to use physical memory more efficiently, as it only keeps the most frequently accessed pages in RAM. Benefits of demand paging include reduced memory usage, as only needed pages are loaded, and improved system responsiveness, since processes can start running without waiting for all pages to be loaded. It also enables larger applications to run on systems with limited physical memory, enhancing multitasking capabilities. 4. What is a deadlock? What are the necessary conditions for a deadlock to occur? A deadlock occurs when two or more processes are unable to proceed because each is waiting for the other to release a resource. The necessary conditions for a deadlock to occur include mutual exclusion, where resources cannot be shared, hold and wait, where processes holding at least one resource are waiting for additional resources, no preemption, meaning resources cannot be forcibly taken from processes, and circular wait, where a cycle of processes exists, each waiting for a resource held by the next. Understanding these conditions helps in designing systems to avoid deadlocks. 5. Explain the difference between clustered and non-clustered indexes in a database. A clustered index determines the physical order of data in a table. When a clustered index is created, the table's rows are stored in the sequence of the indexed columns, making retrieval efficient for range queries. In contrast, a non-clustered index is a separate structure that points to the location of the data rows in the clustered index or the table. While it allows for quick lookups, data is not stored in any specific order. Non-clustered indexes can be created on multiple columns, providing flexibility in query optimization without altering the underlying data storage. 6. How do you find the missing number in an integer array from 1 to 100? To find the missing number in an integer array from 1 to 100, you can use the formula for the sum of the first n natural numbers, which is text sum equals frac n plus 1, 2. For numbers from 1 to 100, 5050. Next, calculate the sum of the numbers present in the array. Subtract the calculated sum of the array from the expected sum, 5050. The result will be the missing number. This method is efficient with a time complexity of O(n), and requires O(1) additional space. 7. What is OSPF, and how does it work in networking? OSPF, or Open Shortest Path First, is a link state routing protocol used within IP networks. It operates by sharing information about the state of links in the network, allowing routers to build a complete map of the network topology. Each router calculates the shortest path to each node using Dijkstra's algorithm. OSPF supports hierarchical network design through areas, minimizing routing table size and reducing overhead. It employs a reliable flooding mechanism to ensure all routers maintain synchronized link state databases. OSPF is widely used due to its efficiency and scalability in large enterprise networks. 8. How would you configure a router for a small office network? To configure a router for a small office network, start by connecting the router to your modem and powering it on. Use a computer to access the router's web interface, typically via a browser with the router's IP address. Set up an admin username and password. Configure the WAN settings to connect to the internet, usually using DHCP. Next, define the LAN settings, including the IP address range for the network. Enable DHCP to automatically assign IP addresses to devices on the network. Finally, set up security features, such as WPA2 for Wi-Fi, and create firewall rules to protect the network. 9. What is DHCP, and how does it assign IP addresses? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DHCP, is a network management protocol used on IP networks. It automates the process of assigning IP addresses, subnet masks, default gateways, and other configuration parameters to devices on a network. When a device connects, it sends a DHCP discover message. The DHCP server responds with a DHCP offer that includes an available IP address. The device then sends a DHCP request to accept the offer, and the server confirms with a DHCP acknowledgement. This process simplifies network administration by reducing manual configuration. 10. Describe how you would monitor and manage cloud resources in AWS. Monitoring and managing cloud resources in AWS requires utilizing various tools and services. AWS CloudWatch is essential for tracking resource performance and operational health through metrics, logs, and alarms. You can set up custom dashboards for real-time visibility. AWS Config helps in assessing, auditing, and evaluating configurations to maintain compliance. Additionally, AWS Systems Manager provides insights into resource management and automation capabilities. Implementing tagging strategies for resources allows for better organization and cost management. Regular reviews of billing reports also ensure resource optimization and financial control. 11. What is fault tolerance in cloud computing, and how can it be implemented in AWS? Fault tolerance in cloud computing refers to the ability of a system to continue functioning correctly even when one or more of its components fail. In AWS, fault tolerance can be achieved through various strategies. Utilizing multiple availability zones, AZS, allows resources to remain operational even if one zone experiences issues. Implementing elastic load balancing distributes incoming traffic across multiple instances, ensuring high availability. Additionally, using Amazon RDS with multi-AZ deployments provides automatic failover. Regularly testing backup and recovery processes ensures the system can quickly recover from failures while maintaining data integrity. 12. How do you design a highly available and scalable architecture on AWS? Designing a highly available and scalable architecture on AWS involves multiple strategies. First, utilize multiple availability zones, AZS, within a region to ensure fault tolerance. Deploy resources such as EC2 instances and RDS databases across these AZS. Implement elastic load balancers, ELBS, to distribute incoming traffic efficiently. Leverage auto-scaling groups to automatically adjust the number of instances based on demand. Use Amazon S3 for scalable storage and Amazon CloudFront for content delivery. Lastly, incorporate Route 53 for DNS management, ensuring seamless failover and health checks for high availability. 13. What AWS services would you use to protect against DDoS attacks? AWS provides several services to safeguard against DDoS attacks. AWS Shield offers automatic DDoS protection for applications running on AWS. AWS Shield Standard is included at no extra cost and protects against common, most frequently encountered DDoS attacks. For more advanced protection, AWS Shield Advanced provides additional detection and mitigation for larger attacks, along with 24/7 access to the AWS DDoS Response Team, DRT. Additionally, Amazon CloudFront serves as a content delivery network that can absorb DDoS traffic, while AWS Web Application Firewall, WAF, helps filter malicious web traffic, enhancing your application's security posture. 14. How would you implement disaster recovery with an RPO of 5 minutes and RTO of 1 hour in AWS? To implement disaster recovery with an RPO of 5 minutes and RTO of 1 hour in AWS, start by deploying your application across multiple availability zones or regions for redundancy. Use Amazon RDS with automated backups and database snapshots set to a 5-minute interval. Implement Amazon S3 for storing application data and enable versioning to recover from accidental deletions. Utilize AWS Lambda for automated failover and orchestration. Regularly test your disaster recovery plan to ensure that recovery times and point objectives are met effectively. 15. Describe how auto-scaling works and when you would use it. Auto-scaling is a cloud computing feature that automatically adjusts the number of active instances in response to workload demands. It monitors metrics such as CPU usage, memory utilization, and network traffic. When demand increases, auto-scaling provisions additional instances. When demand decreases, it terminates instances to reduce costs. You would use auto-scaling for applications with fluctuating workloads, ensuring optimal performance during peak times while minimizing costs during low demand periods. It enhances reliability and ensures applications remain responsive under varying conditions. 16. A customer reports their EC2 instance is unreachable. How would you troubleshoot this issue? To troubleshoot an unreachable EC2 instance, start by checking the instance status in the AWS Management Console. Look for any system status checks that have failed. Ensure the instance is running and that its security group rules allow inbound traffic on the relevant ports, such as port 22 for SSH or port 80 for HTTP. Verify that the instance has an associated elastic IP or public IP if needed. Check the network ACLS and route tables within the VPC for any misconfigurations. If the instance uses a custom AMI, ensure the configuration settings are correct. Use the AWS Systems Manager Session Manager for remote access if SSH is unavailable. 17. How would you migrate a legacy data-intensive application to AWS ensuring low latency globally? Migrating a legacy data-intensive application to AWS while ensuring low latency globally involves several key steps. First, assess the application architecture and data dependencies. Utilize AWS services like Amazon RDS or DynamoDB for database needs to ensure scalability. Implement AWS Global Accelerator or Amazon CloudFront for content delivery to reduce latency. Use AWS Direct Connect for a dedicated network connection if necessary. Finally, conduct performance testing post-migration to fine-tune configurations and ensure the application meets latency requirements across different regions. 18. An application is experiencing sudden traffic spikes. How would you design the infrastructure to handle this? To handle sudden traffic spikes, I would implement an auto-scaling group with load balancers. This setup ensures that as traffic increases, additional instances are spun up to manage the load, while unnecessary instances are terminated during low traffic periods. Using Amazon Elastic Load Balancing, ELB, helps distribute incoming traffic across multiple instances, enhancing fault tolerance. Caching strategies, such as using Amazon Elastic Cache, can reduce database load. Additionally, incorporating a content delivery network, CDN, like Amazon CloudFront can improve response times by delivering content closer to users, optimizing performance during peak demands. 19. How would you handle an incident or outage in a cloud environment? Walk us through your process. In handling an incident or outage in a cloud environment, I would initiate an incident response plan. First, I would assess the situation and gather relevant data about the outage, including affected services and user reports. Next, I would communicate with stakeholders, providing timely updates. Then, I would identify the root cause by analyzing logs and metrics. After that, I would implement a fix or workaround to restore services. Finally, I would conduct a post-incident review to document findings, improve processes, and prevent future occurrences. Clear communication and a structured approach are vital throughout this process. 20. A customer wants to analyze real-time IoT sensor data at scale. Which AWS services would you recommend? For analyzing real-time IoT sensor data at scale, I would recommend using AWS IoT Core to securely connect and manage devices. AWS Lambda can process incoming data in real time without provisioning servers. For data storage, Amazon Kinesis Data Streams is ideal for streaming data, allowing real-time analytics. To analyze the data, Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics can be employed. Finally, using Amazon S3 for long-term storage and Amazon QuickSight for visualization will provide insights from the analyzed data. This combination ensures a robust and scalable architecture for IoT data processing. 21. How would you ensure security and compliance for a financial data analytics solution on AWS? Ensuring security and compliance for a financial data analytics solution on AWS involves several critical steps. First, implement the AWS well-architected framework to assess security best practices. Utilize AWS Identity and Access Management, IAM, for fine-grained access control, ensuring only authorized users can access sensitive data. Regularly audit configurations using AWS Config and AWS CloudTrail for monitoring changes in access logs. Additionally, adhere to relevant regulations such as GDPR or PCI DSS, leveraging AWS compliance programs and services designed for financial data security. 22. Why do you want to work as an AWS cloud support engineer? As an enthusiastic technology professional, I am eager to work as an AWS cloud support engineer because I have a strong passion for cloud computing and a commitment to customer success. I admire AWS's innovative approach and its ability to empower organizations to achieve their goals through scalable solutions. I believe that by joining your team, I can contribute my technical skills and problem-solving abilities while helping customers optimize their cloud environments. This role aligns perfectly with my desire for continuous learning and growth in an ever-evolving field. 23. How do you prioritize customer issues when handling multiple support tickets? When managing multiple support tickets, I prioritize based on urgency and impact. First, I assess the severity of each issue, considering how it affects the customer's business operations. Critical issues, like system outages or security breaches, are addressed immediately. Next, I evaluate the complexity of the tickets. Simpler issues can often be resolved quickly, allowing me to clear them from the queue. Communication is key, so I keep customers informed of progress and estimated resolution times. Regularly reviewing and adjusting priorities ensures that I stay responsive to changing circumstances. 24. Give an example of a time when you did not meet a client's expectations and how you handled it. In one instance, I was tasked with delivering a project update for a client within a tight deadline. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I was unable to provide the expected level of detail, leading the client to express dissatisfaction. Recognizing the importance of clear communication, I promptly scheduled a follow-up meeting to address their concerns. During this meeting, I actively listened to their feedback and provided a detailed action plan to rectify the situation. I ensured regular updates moving forward, which helped rebuild trust and meet their expectations in subsequent deliverables. 25. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and how does this role fit into your career goals? In 5 years, I envision myself as an expert in cloud technologies, particularly within AWS. I aim to progress to a senior role, where I can lead projects and mentor junior engineers. This role as an AWS cloud support engineer aligns perfectly with my aspirations, as it allows me to deepen my technical skills while solving real-world problems. I am eager to gain hands-on experience and contribute to innovative solutions, which will be crucial for my growth in the cloud computing domain. This position will serve as a stepping stone toward my long-term career objectives. As you prepare for your AWS Cloud Support Engineer interview, remember that understanding both technical concepts and customer service skills is crucial. The questions outlined in this video will help you showcase your expertise and problem-solving abilities effectively. We hope these insights empower you to excel in your interview. If you found this content helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights on cloud computing and career advancement. Your support helps us create more quality content tailored for you. Good luck with your interview preparation.